Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Don't Look Up is a new movie out now, written and directed by Adam McKay, co-written, I guess, story by David Sirota. New movie out on Netflix that just came out. Kind of looking forward to it. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It's got Jennifer Lawrence in it. Meryl Streep is in it. Jonah Hill is in it. So some fun casting. It is a story about an asteroid. Basically, if you were to take Armageddon and combine that with Idiocracy, you get yourself Don't Look Up. But also kind of set in a similar alternate reality of the last the Trump administration. Let's just say, because Meryl Streep plays basically a Trump-like president, and Jonah Hill is her cocaine fiending son, who is part of the government as well. I forget his actual position, but that's kind of their characters. Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio are like low-level astronomers who discover, like they're in the education field. Leo's character is a teacher, and Jennifer Lawrence is a student who's hopeful to get a PhD, and she discovered it. And then together they are now going to try and convince the government to do something, because in 6 months and 14 days, an asteroid is going to wipe out the planet. Spoilers. I guess that's the premise. That's the overall premise of the movie, if you didn't know. But I'm going to get into it. I enjoyed it because I do like Idiocracy. I kind of like Armageddon. Leo's performance in this is great. He's got like this bathroom panic attack scene that is very reminiscent of his trailer breakdown scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then he has like a network-esque type of a scene where he's ranting on the show about the asteroid that nobody's taking seriously. So some great performances by him. Jennifer Lawrence is basically playing every human that believes in climate change and this virus that's going around. Like, she is like the collective conscience of the majority of people. I mean, obviously, like a liberal type of a person, which seem to be, the only people that have kind of common sense, at least to a degree. Maybe not the politicians, but anyway, which this asteroid is very much a replacement for the pandemic, or a replacement for climate change, where it's like, we know what we can do to fix this, or at least try to fix this, but the government, the politicians, the media are all more concerned with making money. Tech companies, all more concerned with making money than saving humanity. And that's what this movie explores. It explores what would happen if an asteroid was coming and we had, the Trump administration in office. The Many Faces is an ongoing abstract ink portrait series that I started many years ago. I release a new face every day, but go to inspireddisorder.com to check them out. So many available. But as a listener to The Ray Taylor Show, you can save 10% when you use coupon code INSPIRED when you check out. So go to inspireddisorder.com/TMF. That stands for The Many Faces. Go check them out. Browse the entire collection. And when you decide on a piece, or maybe multiple pieces, make sure you use coupon code INSPIRED when you check out, and you'll save 10%. As a big thank you for checking out my work, for collecting my work, and for listening to The Ray Taylor Show. And with that said, let's get back to the show. Just like not like the title of this movie, Don't Look Up, becomes the slogan for the president's sheep as a fix for this asteroid that's going to hit Earth. It's like, oh, you don't want it to happen? So just don't look at it. If you don't look at it, it's not there. Just like when the pandemic started, and it's like, oh, it's not real. There's no virus. Now Trump's trying to get people to get vaccinated, which they're booing him off the stage. But initially he's like, oh, it's not real. It's fake. There's no pandemic. This is nothing. It's just a little flu. Meanwhile, I mean, we're getting close to 1 million people dead in this country because he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything when it first started. So that's a lot of what this movie is, which is fun. I'm not a fan of Adam McKay's newer stuff. I mean, obviously he's done some amazing comedy films in the past, but he's definitely gone down this lane of turning real life political stories into movies. And, really illustrating how comical reality is, how insanely comical the existence we are, especially with conservative leadership, with Trump and then Bush, kind of the dumbest people that somehow just really know how to connect. They just knew how to connect and sell the American people on all of the worst things. So I haven't really liked his newer stuff, like The Big Short. I tried to watch that one. Couldn't get into it. That one's about, like, I think the real estate bubble or just the financial bubble in general, the 2008 financial bubble. And then he had Vice, which I don't really care, is about Dick Cheney, I think, during the George W. Bush presidency. Had no desire to see that. Although I did because I did really enjoy Don't Look Up. But it's nice because it's like a fictional thing, although could have easily just been just a couple casting things different and then change it from an asteroid to something else, and you got yourself the same thing as what he's been doing. But then even at the end of The Other Guys, which is a straight up just comedy, there was a big thing like in the credits of, I forget what it was talking about, probably how all the banks and stuff are stealing from us. So I appreciate his message, and he can make a good movie. And I think this one, because it isn't actual events that have happened, you can kind of have that, take a step back, and just see the absurdity of that reality that we were living for 4 years. See how that would have played against this asteroid coming. Was pretty great. And then there's the tech guy represented. He's kind of like a Bill Gatesy, not a Bill Gates, like a Steve Jobsy, Elon Musky kind of a tech CEO. He's got he starts off with the phone. It's like, we're reading all of your emotions, and we know you so well, we can tell you what you want. But it's like during their attack, they're like going to do something. The government actually says they're going to do something. It gets called off at the last minute because this tech company wants to do their unproven thing and send these ships to mine these precious metals that are in the asteroid and also blow it up. But of course it fails, right? Of course it fails. Which the end of this movie is great because it's what would have happened if there was an asteroid coming to Earth and Trump was in office. We would just die because he's not going to do anything. I mean, other governments maybe would have done stuff, but I think the resources we have in this country, we should be able to do something. But because of a president that doesn't want to act on anything and would rather ignore a problem than deal with it, we would have all died. Join Inspired Disorder Plus today. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus to join. Membership includes members-only discounts and deals. You get access to the Ray Taylor Show completely ad-free, as well as bonus episodes. You get access to the complete live painting archive. You also get access to every single podcast ever produced by Inspired Disorder, hosted by Ray Taylor. You get access to Ray Taylor's personal blog, as well as the opportunity to ask me any questions. So if you want to start a podcast, you're into art, ask me anything. And so many more things are being added every day to Inspired Disorder Plus. So sign up today, become a member, head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus and become an Inspired Disorder Plus member today. Which is kind of the beautiful aspect of this movie of finding what's important. Because so much of this is like them trying to convince everybody that it's actually happening. And then once it's too late, it's just like, well, what are you going to do now? There's just try and find some people that you love being around and have a nice dinner together. I thought it was like a really beautiful end to this movie. And all the different characters, like, I mean, it's so easy to root for and relate to Jennifer Lawrence's character. Because she's looking at all these people and they're like, every meeting they go to where they get blown off, they're trying to tell, like, the president, they get blown off. They're like, do they know what we're here for? Like, do they know that we're going to die in 6 months? So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the commentary. I enjoyed the comedy. And it's not like it's not like goofy comedy. It's just like it's like a dark look at what would have happened if a different type of tragedy hit. And it's also showing Leo's a big, fighting against climate change and environmentalist. And so much of this is like him being the voice of science during a time where science is so disregarded. Like, there's an aspect of this where a famous person's relationship ended, and it's like, that is somehow the top news, not there's an asteroid going to kill humanity. Or not even humanity, end this planet. Which is like, climate change is not going to end this planet. It's just going to end a lot of things that live on this planet. So Leo being that voice for the scientists that are just like so angry because they know the answers. They've spent their life studying this thing, and nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. They're all calling up Joe Rogan for their medical advice. Nobody's listening to actual doctors that have spent their entire life studying a thing. So his frustration is great. I just really loved this movie. I did. It was surprising. I forgot it was even coming out. And it's great. I mean, it's what you would expect. Profit over human life at all cost. Like, property and profit are the only thing they care about. Human life and quality of life is like, doesn't exist. They don't care. Unless it makes them money. Unless it makes them money. They don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay you because that costs them money. They don't want to spend money. Spend as little money as possible, make as much as possible. Everything be damned. The planet, humanity, everything, existence, not for a penny. I'm going to just sell all of humanity for money that you're not going to take with you. And it's ridiculous. But I do love it. I did love it. There's a post-credit scene, which was kind of funny because everything gets destroyed, but as the cockroaches they are, Junior, Jonah Hill's character, somehow survives and posts like a social media like, hey, we out here, which is it's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, those would be the people. Those are the cockroaches that would somehow survive. The least deserving of our species would somehow crawl out from the cracks of the rubble and just continue. I mean, who knows how long you would last. That would be another movie. Like the follow-up to this, Don't Look Up 2. You know? Don't Look Up Again. Where it's like post-apocalyptic and it's Jonah Hill trying to reform society. Who Jonah Hill's character in this is like a Don Jr. So, like, that's the type of ridiculousness. Anyway, I loved it. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. Don't Look Up. Big fan of it. Leo, amazing performance. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I was really surprised. So go check it out. Don't Look Up. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.